And welcome back. Chicken wholesalers have urged the government to lift a 4-month ban on the import of live mainland poultry. They say with the supply shortfall, poultry prices will go up, which in turn affects their livelihoods. Ronnie Samtani reports.
Last month, the government imposed a 4-month ban on live poultry imports from the mainland after samples tested positive for the H7N9 bird flu virus. Meanwhile, the sale of locally raised chickens has resumed after a 21-day ban, but prices have gone up because of an overall supply shortage. Vendors say prices went up by as much as 40%. Those in the poultry trade want the import resumption as soon as possible. Choi Ming-toon, who chairs the Poultry Wholesalers Association, warned today consumers will have to pay more for local birds. He added that it's difficult to sell a backlog of 270,000 local chickens because they are getting old now. What's more, there's not enough space to raise young chicks. Wong Wai-chun, who represents retailers of chilled poultry meat, warned of supply problems as well. He's worried that by May, chickens may no longer be available, and even if they are, prices could be very high. Today's developments came after the government selected a plot of land near the border to separate local live poultry from mainland poultry.
For temporary measure, yes, they have found a site in Da Gulang, and that place to be fit, to be equipped for using it. They will take about 4 months for construction work.
At a LegCo panel, Undersecretary for Food and Health Sophia Chan said the Ta Kwu Ling plan will ensure the continuous supply of live poultry. But some voice support for importing chilled rather than live mainland poultry.
In Hong Kong, local farmers welcome inspections anytime and they strive to meet the highest standards. But when it comes to poultry farms on the mainland, we can see it from this incident that no matter how effective, how well established the mechanism is, we can't rule out the risk.
The Food and Health Bureau expects the Ta Kwu Ling site to be ready for use by the end of June. But members of the poultry trade urge the government to speed up construction works so that it could resume business as soon as possible. Ronnie Samtani, TVB News.
The MTR Corporation saw its net profit for 2013 decline by more than 2% compared with the previous year. But the rail company says despite recent service disruptions, its overall performance showed improvement. Joao de Silva reports.
Service disruptions, overcrowded trains and a 2.7% fare hike. You might have been mistaken for thinking 2013 was a challenging year for the MTRC. But the company says that was just part of the picture. Delivering its annual results today, the rail operator apologized again for the service disruptions, but stressed that things had actually improved.
The train service that our passengers received day in and day out throughout the year was actually the very best that we've had in the 6 years since the rail merger. We maintained on-time performance of 99.9%, meaning that a customer experienced a delay only once on average for every 1,000 trips that he or she took on MTR.
As for its financial performance, the railway operator saw its net profit for 2013 decline by 2.6% to a little over $13 billion. That's despite recording almost 1.47 billion passenger rides last year, a 3% surge in relation to 2012. The number of passengers using services to the border rose 1.5%, while traffic on the Airport Express saw a sharp increase of 7.6%.
This is a result of a buoyant local economy, strong inbound tourism, and also the increased train frequency that we put on as part of our listening and responding program.
The rail company also pointed out that it has made steady progress on its network expansion projects in Hong Kong. The West Island Line is scheduled to open later this year, and its South Island Line East, which will extend MTR services from Admiralty to Apalai Chau, will be ready next year. Joao de Silva, TVB News.
The government says it may still be able to make changes to the composition of the nominating committee and the procedures to nominate chief executive candidates. This after coming up with its political reform blueprint following a public consultation. Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying today called on all sectors of society to contribute on the way forward. But he also reiterated reform proposals need to comply with the Basic Law and relevant decisions by the National People's Congress Standing Committee. In Beijing, local NPC member Maria Tam quoted mainland officials as saying there will be big changes in the country in the next 6 to 7 years. And Hong Kong should no longer focus only on political issues, but also the benefits from the country's development. She was part of a group that met with the chairman of the Basic Law Committee, Li Fei. A survey shows that 17% of 800 local companies interviewed have plans to recruit more staff in the second quarter of this year. As Vicky Kung reports, the finance, insurance, and real estate sectors have the biggest demand for extra manpower.
Good news for job seekers. A survey conducted by an international firm in employment services shows that 17% of some 800 local companies it interviewed have an intention to hire more workers in the second quarter of the year. For each of the 6 key sectors surveyed, the organizers have come up with a net employment outlook derived from the percentage of employers with hiring plans minus the percentage of those expecting a decrease in the number of workers. The most optimistic hiring prospects were reported in the finance, insurance, and real estate sector, with the outlook standing at 23%. The survey organizers say that's partly because of the government's plan to boost housing supply. The mainland is another contributing factor.
China trade, securities firms, and also in high demands of those candidates. And we are talking about the finance account professional.
But will the buyer's stamp duty have an impact on hiring intentions?
I'm not about to comment the government's policy, but definitely anything in Hong Kong, affect the economic situation will affect the hiring intention as well.
The services sector came in second with a net employment outlook standing at 21%. That reflects a great demand for experienced IT professionals working on internet security, apps development, and e-commerce. But some sectors may face difficulty in hiring more people. The transportation and utilities sector predicts a positive outlook of 12%, down 2 percentage points from the last quarter. Choi thinks this is due to the lack of attractive remuneration packages, particularly for drivers and captains. The company also believes employment prospects for university graduates this year are positive. It recommends students to keep an eye on its third quarter survey, which will be published on the 10th of June. Vicky Kung, TVB News.
All right, it is time for sports and time for Chris to bring it.
Yeah, showdown time. The pressure is on Arsenal and AC Milan in the Champions League tonight as both teams attempt to overcome their deficits. It will be especially difficult for the Gunners, who need to produce a stunning comeback at the home of defending champions Bayern Munich. Tony Sabine reports.
And that is a wrap of our show. Have a great evening, everyone.
Good night.
Good evening. The weather was cloudy with 1 or 2 rain patches. It was rather cool. And as tonight's situation chart shows, the northeast monsoon is affecting the South China coast. Up to 7 p.m., temperatures range from 14.1 to 15.9 degrees, and the relative humidity was between 82 to 93%, moderate to fresh easterly winds. The current temperature is now 15 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity standing at 93%. So Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? It will be mainly cloudy tonight, sunny intervals tomorrow with a few rain patches at night. Temperatures will range between 17 and 22 degrees. It will become cool in the next couple of days. Tomorrow's air quality health index is forecast at moderate. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 6. And here's the latest global weather update. Showers in Shanghai, Taipei, and Xiamen. Cloudy in Guangzhou and Chengdu. Sunny in Beijing, cloudy in Seoul, sunny in Tokyo. Thunderstorms in Bangkok, sunny in Ho Chi Minh City, bright in Manila. Bright in Kuala Lumpur, sunny in Singapore, rain in Jakarta. Sunny in New Delhi, Karachi, and Mumbai. Showers in Cairo. Showers in Brisbane, sunny in Sydney, bright in Auckland. Snow in Toronto. Sunny in Vancouver, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. Sunny in Paris, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, and Zurich. And that's the weather. Have a lovely evening.